Hello and welcome to the Downed Pilot podcast, where this week we are discussing the Wonder Woman pilot from 2011. And oh boy, do we have some things to say about this pilot.
I'm here too. This is Tom, joined by
Eric.
For anyone who doesn't know, welcome to the Down Pilot Podcast, where we are discussing pilots that never make it quite past liftoff, and there are reasons behind this one. Jesus.
Wonder Woman, starring Adrianne Palicki, first return actress of the show.
Yes.
Poor Adrianne, because she does some good work. I love her on Agents of Shield. She's great, but man,
Yeah, and it seems like, because I was watching some interviews with her about Wonder Woman, and apparently her older brother is a comic book writer and was into comics way early in life, so she has always wanted to play roles like Wonder Woman. Like, she was amazed that she was even, like, considered for the role, so it's very, I'm sad for her, because she's obviously very passionate about the character. And she also wants to play Rogue, which I don't think will ever happen, because she's Mockingbird. So
yeah, she does a great job as Mockingbird. So I'm fine with that. It just would be great if they let her actually play Mockingbird.
yeah, instead of their version.
No, not necessarily not their version. The fact that she was written out of the show so that they could have a spin-off, and then the spin-off was
Oh
canceled.
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I almost wonder if there's a Most Wanted pilot, but it feels like there were. I remember watching episodes of Shield that felt like pilots for Most Wanted.
No, there definitely was a Most Wanted pilot that was produced. They had a cast, but they didn't pick it up. We know I know for a fact this pilot exists. It just has not leaked in any way, shape, or form.
Oh well, once that happens,
I would love to cover that pilot,
and then we could have a three for.
Yeah.
All right, so right away, did it bother you that it took place in Los Angeles? Because
a lot.
Right.
Los Angeles feels like the most non-Wonder Woman place you possibly could have. Like,
and not only that, like, they go out of their, like, DC goes out of their way to use their, like, their homemade settings, like Gotham, Central City, Coast City. Like, it's just so weird that, like, Metropolis would have been such a better. Is it because Superman's not around? I don't know.
It makes no sense for her to be on the West Coast for me. Let alone Los Angeles. And that was just jarring as heck. To see the Hollywood Walk of Stars before we see Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and not only that, it opened. So for those who haven't watched the pilot, it opens with this kid. I say very loosely because the guy looks like at least 30, getting a college acceptance letter. Which I guess if you're 30, you can still get college acceptance letters, but he was calling her mama, so
yeah,
it was weird. But he gets accepted, and then he starts bleeding out of his orifices,
including his eyes. He had blood tears.
Yeah, it was not a good time. And then we get the Star Walk run scene. I don't know. The chase scene was interesting. I don't think a car should have knocked down Wonder Woman.
No, it definitely shouldn't have. One thing that I have heard is that Wonder Woman actually isn't indestructible. She's just really strong. Like, Wonder Woman can be shot, which is why she has to deflect all the bullets.
Yeah, and that's fine. I buy that, but I mean, she also has density. Like, it's like when Clark always got hit by a. I guess I don't know. It's just I could not pin down which, like, origin they were going with for this, and maybe they were trying to do something new. But
I definitely think they chose option E, none of the above.
Yeah. We find out that her name is Diana Themyscira.
I definitely think that was. I definitely think she didn't have a last name, and she chose Themyscira as her last name.
but I don't know. You have so many allusions to like mythology you could have used, or I don't know.
I mean, it's like she I don't know why she decided to go with that and not as like at least in the Wonder Woman movie it's Steve Trevor just sort of very quickly he's like this is Diana Prince, yeah, because she's about to say she's Diana Princess of Themyscira, but then it's like Diana Prince, yeah, that's her name.
Which comes up, but like for me, the most like the origin I go with the most with Wonder Woman is that she is a oh god, like a diplomat of Themyscira. Like she goes to UN meetings and like keeps Themyscira involved in the world scheme of things. And in this, she's just trying to sell toys, and it's very
It definitely was a very strange angle to take Wonder Woman for, and it definitely did not pay off in any way, shape, or form.
yeah. So she draws blood from this dude because she has to do burial and stuff,
Yeah,
and
and it's like it's so weird. She has like a research tech behind her to analyze this blood, and they have Etta Candy doing I don't know vaguely Etta Candy things. Maybe I don't know. It was very it's very strange, and then they, it's just this pilot's all over the place. And let's talk about the villain real quick.
quote unquote villain. Like
Yeah.
I was saying during the watch along, here's the thing. I did not. I think Wonder Woman might be DC's best movie. It's up there with. That doesn't mean a lot coming from me because I'm not a huge DCEU fan. And anyone who doesn't know my problems with Wonder Woman can go watch our review we did with BFF.
Yeah.
It's just I think it didn't do the character like any justice. But comparing it to this pilot, man, like Wonder Woman would be next level compared to this if you were to watch it back to back.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think we were spoiled with having such a great portrayal of Wonder Woman on the Justice League TV show.
Oh yeah, she's the best one. She's perfect.
Yeah, that's like the absolute definition of nailing everything that you can about that character because
But
it's like it's got like the not so familiar with the world aspects from the movie and also the I've left home aspects of the movie, but it's also like just this really confidence in her abilities from start to finish, and it's so good.
there's there's one thing though with the Justice League cartoon that we don't get, and that's her quote unquote alter ego, or what she does in her like spare time, which is all that this show is about. Essentially, is the fact that she has to make an alter ego just to go home and hang out with a cat. Like it's not even like she's doing anything different that she could just do from home.
So it's an odd way to take it. This would be like if Clark Kent walked up and said, "I'm Superman," and
My
like,
name is Kal-El.
my,
I am Superman.
I am no. He says, "My name is Clark Kent. I am Superman," and then, but he does this without the glasses, and then he creates a persona with the glasses and says, "My name is Clark Smallville." It's like it
know.
makes zero sense. It's just why do that? And with Kale, I did a little bit of research on her character, and around the time that this pilot was created, she was like nowhere in the she had like disappeared from the landscape, and she only like just recently came back in DC Rebirth. And I looked it up, and that's like what they did with her in DC Rebirth is probably better than anything that she had been in the comics previously. And this plot line that she has now would have actually been really cool if they brought it into the show. And I'll talk about this because you were talking about how they were like name dropping cheetah during the pilot. Like they say the dude was running like a cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the comics in DC Rebirth, apparently she had a hand in the creation of Cheetah. and like feels remorse
Okay.
over it. And I feel like that would be like if this went to series and by the end of season, the end like the tail end of season one. In my head, this would be the way that it should have played out. We find out that Steve Trevor's wife is Dr. Minerva,
Ooh.
and she comes into a partnership with Kale. Thus, think now with Dr. Minerva thinking that Wonder Woman is trying to steal her husband, takes the serum, becomes Cheetah.
Okay. Interesting.
That is definitely how I would handle like the season finale of this proposed season, just judging on where this pilot starts.
Yeah.
I did that too with Aquaman because that's definitely another thing. It's like maybe this is where they were going. It's like
I don't know, man. It's hard to. I think they should just kind of cut and burn their losses at this.
I definitely think they did.
Back to Wonder Woman though, I was really scared. The movie, I was really scared that they're gonna do the classic girl versus girl, which isn't always bad, but sometimes it plays out really catty, and it did in this pilot. And when they did the movie, and you had the fake general dude going up, and you had like
Dr. Poison.
I like that made me want Dr. Poison more involved. Like that, her character was so good that it didn't matter. It was girl on girl. Like that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter as long as the characters. But like this was more like the Catwoman vibes, not the movie with Halle Berry and I think Charlize Theron's the bad guy.
That's a whole nother issue.
And I was getting vibes like that, and it just like you're not saying anything by doing this. You know what I mean? Like the Dr. Poison had something to say.
I mean, the Kale was definitely like a light Luther.
Oh yeah. Like what was the Luther sister from Smallville?
Tess, I think her name was.
Yeah. If that was what I was getting vibes of too. Was the Tess Luther from Smallville? Can I just say how much I love John Glover?
I mean, go for
it. John Glover's the best. He plays the best villain dads. He's Lionel Luthor. He's Sylar's dad. Anyway, he's not in this.
Not in this.
Who is in this is Pedro Pascal, who looks weird without a mustache. You may know him from Narcos or from Game of Thrones as Oberyn Martell. Distracting.
Yeah.
Who else was in this?
Cary Elwes.
Oh yeah, he looks good with both feet. I'm glad he got it sewed back on.
Yeah.
He was like a lot of these characters were just like space takers, like.
And I definitely kept drawing attention to it, but man, did Steve Trevor have a fish face?
Yeah.
Like
he's not even like classically handsome. He's just like, I'm here, hello.
Not like
boop, 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 boop.
Like legitimately, his face looks like it was plastered on. Like Will Smith's face looks like it's plastered on in a shark's tail.
Oh my god.
It looks bad. Like no disrespect to the actor that played him, but I'm just calling it like I see it. He has a fish face.
So, alright, back to the episode. Fishface McGee, he's sad because Wonder Woman decided 2 years ago she was able to bring this company up and running in 2 years. To do this thing that's called Wonder Woman, I guess. And he's sad. And then we keep getting cuts between that dinner and stuff because they're like, what about Steve Trevor? Don't you miss him? Because of course.
I mean, like literal cuts. They didn't even bother making full transitions some of the time.
Like, look, if you want to tell a decent Wonder Woman story, don't put a love interest in it. Right? Like, that was the best part of the Justice League cartoon, is it nodded to hit her and Bruce Wayne doing something, but they were both too busy being professional to do anything about it. Like,
Man, I wanted them to get together so bad, but that's a completely
but
different
but they
topic for a
don't.
different episode.
Like, the most they flirt is when they're little kids in that one episode, which is perfect.
Yes.
Like, don't no love interest. We don't. It's Wonder Woman. She doesn't need one. You know what was great about Moana? No love interest. I still say to this day Moana's a better Wonder Woman movie than Wonder Woman, but that's just me. That's just me. Kimber agrees, but that's just me. And Kimber. And Ashley and Joe.
All right.
Sorry, Billy.
So, let's talk about the effects.
I mean, I want to pick on them a lot, and we did during the watch along, but this obviously wasn't a finished product.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to compare this to, like...
Aquaman?
Yeah, Aquaman definitely was more polished than this. But, again, they do some weird things that... Like, she has an invisible jet. It's canon. Like, so either make her fly, which they do now, or give her an invisible jet. But she has, like, this weird-looking, like, Independence Day-esque jet. Like, it wants to be a Quinjet so bad.
Like, it looks like a toy.
Yeah. Like, okay, so the show is about a woman with super abilities who uses those super abilities to sell toys. And then the show markets new toys so that kids watching the actual show will buy those toys.
And see, the thing is, if this was a parody of Wonder Woman, this would be an amazing concept. Like, because it sort of takes the crap out of WB being this sort of toy craze company. Like, all they care about is the merchandise. They don't actually care about the product they put out. That would be an amazing sort of commentary on that. But no, this is the actual Wonder Woman property they tried to put out in 2011. And man, it just does not fit the character at all.
Like, okay, there's parts where, like, Wonder Woman's sassy.
Yeah.
But, like, not roll your eyes, like, blow your hair out of your face sassy. You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a, oh yeah, you want to wrestle for it kind of thing, because she's more like... And that, okay, here's one thing I did like about the pilot, because it did feel kind of real.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow. First season, he's killing people left and right.
Yes.
And that felt right for his character. Now, if this Wonder Woman, if we had a background that she was a warrior from this island, blah, 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 I could buy her killing people more often, like, because she's all about that. Like, she'll take a sword and just straight up try to, like, her villains don't come back most of the time. But, like, she just seems like she was raised in LA. Like, it may not be the case, but, like, I don't have anything telling me otherwise. She was raised in this place, in America at least.
Yeah.
And it, like, subscribes to the American ideals already. So I don't... It's just very odd. Like, that... Like, I get that, like, Wonder Woman would be a take no prisoners kind of thing. But she also wouldn't be killing henchmen.
No. Not just people that are being paid to do a job. Like, those dudes that took the supplements, yeah, they made a conscious choice to become villains. That security guard with the gun, he was literally just doing his job.
Yeah. I agree. Now, there's one thing in the Wonder Woman movie, comparing it to this, that they did better with, was the, oh shit, what were we just talking about?
The security guard.
Oh yeah, the security guard. Like, she even tried to save some German soldiers at a certain point, because I was like, that her ultimate goal was to save both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, that's kind of more towards her thinking, I would think, but that was a weird sentence.
Yeah. So, it's just with everything that went wrong in this pilot, why don't we talk about some things that we definitely would change about this pilot?
The lasso of truth being a lasso of truth.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that we should definitely talk about, because the lasso of truth is just a magic rope.
No, it's not even magic.
I mean, it does the scorpion get over here at least.
Yeah,
It glows at one point.
it's like okay, if you got a bat and then wrote on it "bat of truth," and then we're like, yeah, this bat makes you tell you the truth after I hit you in the face 20 times. Like, that's essentially how they use the rope in this. Like, she's torturing a dude and goes, wait till I use my rope.
So wait, did the Joker use the crowbar of truth?
No, that dude's all about lies.
Oh, the crowbar of lies. I gotcha.
The crowbar of lies.
Yeah, so definitely that last up. And like the thing is, like, it was like she walks into the hospital room with the dude she chased down at the beginning of the episode to get information out of him. She takes the lasso out, places it on top of him, and then proceeds to physically torture him to get the information
out. So obviously
out.
It's not magic. Like, it's just, I don't know, weird choice. And they made it glow in one scene, so it made it feel like they intended to do that the entire time, which I would have had no problem with.
Yeah, and look, comparing it to the Justice League cartoon again, it's like it wasn't always like didn't always have the ability to make people tell the truth. It's like it was just the lasso that she stole. She didn't know that it really had any magical properties to it, and then when she returned to Themyscira, she found out, yeah, this lasso does more than just tie people up. Did you not know that? And Wonder Woman was like, oh, oops. And that's
why they're just telling me their deepest, darkest secrets.
And that's just that's such a great way to handle it. But it's like, obviously, Wesley CEO guy.
Jimmy John, Henry
Henry
John.
Johns. There we go. Not Jeff Johns, Henry Johns. So Henry Johns is like, yeah, we've made you your crime fighting gear. It's like, what crime fighting gear? The rope?
Yeah, and like that's another thing. Like, she, I think in the comics originally chose those colors and motif and everything because she was like an ambassador to America, so she was trying to like use those colors to like gain favor and stuff. Which I guess she's trying to get the favor of America's kids and teenagers and old men who like doubling over Barbie dolls.
Oh God. Oh man, that's definitely something I would absolutely ruin. Definitely take out that entire doll subplot. Oh my God.
Take out the company. You don't need the company at all.
I mean, it's one thing to have the company and being like, just to have this like, I guess they were kind of going for like a sort of Bruce Wayne vibe, but if the world knew that Bruce Wayne was Batman. But it's just, the company itself was weird. The doll, you have the company, fine. We don't need the doll merchandise angle to play.
Yeah,
it's
because at least like what you had Queen Industries. They were making research and development stuff for the military, like stuff like that made sense for. Oh, I can pick this up and add it to my arsenal, like Green Arrow joke.
Yeah.
But
this did come out before Arrow went to pilot, though. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, there is a way to use a company and make it work, but not when you're using it to just peddle out your own stuff. Like, Batman doesn't go and make the masks that they sell at Walmart. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and the thing is, it's like he outright points out, it's like, yeah, if the government tracks the fact that we, use your criminal actions to sell products, we'd be in massive trouble. But yeah, you would be, because that's exactly what you do as a company. You don't even hide that.
Yeah, maybe if they could have introduced me to like, oh, not only is Diana making dolls, but 50% of it goes to charity and help, like, you know what I mean? Like, that could have like, oh, okay, so she's using that as a way to, gather funds for medical treatments or whatever. But It just seems so self-serving, and then she's mad about it, that she needs to make another identity. Like, you're the one who's peddling your image out there so everyone knows who you are.
I feel like if this had more episodes, we'd find out that it was Henry's idea to have her go public, which ruined her private life, which is why she created the Diana Prince persona. But that's
with her cat?
Well, she has the cat because she has no private life because she burned all her bridges when she became Wonder Woman.
Look, the cat's not going to carry your Wonder Woman. Bring the cat home. Don't just leave that cat in that apartment and be like, I feel like being Diana Prince today, and go home and feed it.
That is a good point. That is a fantastic point. Why have a separate house just to have a cat?
And a Facebook profile. Like, they're not going to search your ISP and be like, wait a minute, this isn't Diana Prince. This is Diana Themyscira.
No,
you would think she would have better
it's like,
servers.
Just imagine all the Facebook creepers that she would attract. It's like, you look just like Wonder Woman. Just trying to be a pickup line, and then she would get panicked and go to their house and beat them up.
Who told you? Why did you say that name?
Other things that would definitely change. Probably, I would just make Steve Trevor the detective.
No, just don't. No love story.
No. Here's the thing. If you just make Steve Trevor the detective, and if it was just he's been in her life, but they've broken up, it would make
and he's married and he's moved on.
And he's married. He's moved on. They've broken up, but he willingly works with her and has been for a long time, is a way better story than him announcing, yeah, I've lived here for 6 months. I'm sorry. I didn't tell you.
I'm here to investigate your case. You're okay.
Yeah, just make... if you're going to make Steve Trevor some sort of law enforcement, I think he's like a lawyer or something here, just make him detective.
There's nothing... Okay, so everything gets wrapped up by the end of this. The only thing that's not wrapped up is literally there's not, because she ends up making the Facebook page she talks about. That's the last scene pretty much, and her listening to the news Captain Hammer style, where they're just rattling off compliments about Wonder Woman. It's just like you could have had the Justice Department, like Steve Trevor got in there and be like, look, I know whatever happened between us, blah blah blah, but I do have a job to do, and you are breaking the law. There was no conflict in the end for me to want to see another episode.
No, yeah, there's not, other than the fact that Steve Trevor got married.
Whoa! The character we've known for a whole 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's like, and it's so weird because Henry asks about Steve Trevor by name. I don't think he ever saw his face because he had no idea what was going on when Steve Trevor walked in the door.
Well, he did. He just thought it was an aquarium. It was a photo on the desk, but he was like, look at this small aquarium. This fish never moves.
Because he's got a fish face.
Yeah, I know, yeah. He's like, oh, it must have been a fluke. Fish bun.
Anyway. Anything else you would change about the pilot?
I mean, I wouldn't change a thing. I just wouldn't do it.
What I would change is make this never leak ever.
I mean, I would still cast her as Wonder Woman. I would just give her different direction and surround her with different people. I think she's a capable actress. I think they're all, everyone who was in this. We even had, Rory and Lorelai's dad/grandfather from Gilmore Girls in it as a senator, and, he was convincing. I always like what he's in. I don't know. It was missing a lot, and I don't know if it was the amount of lore they ignored, or because I can unsubscribe to meditated storylines. I like Gotham. I do not mind that we're already getting Mr. Freeze and Firefly. It doesn't make sense in the long run, but it's like an alternate universe. I can get that. But there's not enough besides Themyscira to tie it into the DC universe. And it wasn't even a place, it was her last name. So it was just, it almost felt insulting. It was if the Big Bang Theory wrote Wonder Woman.
So, one thing I would say is that with Wonder Woman being this vicious and dark, I would say that this would actually work if this then led to Injustice and she was just a villain.
Well, like a lot of people think that's how Gotham's going, where that's not telling the story of Bruce Wayne turning into Batman. It's telling the story of Bruce Wayne turning into Owlman, which would be super interesting.
That would be a real good way to actually do that. That's interesting, actually. That's an interesting theory. I hadn't heard that before, but that actually might make me go watch Gotham.
See, and even if it doesn't pay out, at least you were like, oh, well, these are new stories, or at least new, like, they do some, like, not everything's great, but I tell you what, I'm catching up on, for a Wonder Woman thing, we're talking a lot about Gotham, but that's what I'm saying, like, there's so much easier ways to do these shows and make them episodic and serial that you care, and I just didn't care by the end of the pilot for Wonder Woman, but,
yeah,
they brought in Professor Pig, and it's so good.
Yeah, so it's like one thing that we can compare this directly to the Aquaman pilot.
Oh yeah.
Where in Aquaman they put in too much. This one they put in not enough.
Look, man, we got a lot of plane scenes.
We got a lot of boardroom scenes and
oh my god,
scenes of them talking about merchandise and
image, and Wonder Woman isn't vulgar. Like I can see where they're heading with it. Like, okay, Wonder Woman is an ideal that everyone strives to be, kind of like how like Superman is an ideal and stuff like that. But I'm a real person at the same time. Then don't make your public identity the same. Like, it just doesn't. You created your own problem.
Yeah, it definitely. It definitely feels like they could have added a couple of extra lines of dialogue to say that.
Well, they tried and didn't post.
yeah. Those pickups, are pretty bad.
All right, everyone back to work. Thank you, Wonder Woman. Oh man. All right. If you don't believe us about how bad this is, and I blame no one but whoever wrote this episode. I'm not even going to look it up. I think the actors who were in it, they tried their best. You could only act as well as the script is written.
Yeah, it's
or as well as you're directed. You know what I mean?
Definitely. There was definitely someone somewhere along the line probably should have said, no, let's not do this. And I guess in some way they did.
In some way they did. And so, with that, maybe we should leave this peacefully undisturbed for a while. Unless the viewers would like to watch it themselves. Just Google a Wonder Woman pilot. It's leaked. It's on Dailymotion. For those of you who are part of Patreon. I can never say either or. Patreon.com/oddshaped channel. You get access to our watch-alongs and the episodes there as well. If you disagree with anything we had to say about this pilot, you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. We value everyone's opinion. You could always tell us me at Odd Panel and Eric at
Bunker
on Twitter. And I think we could talk about what we're going to be doing next week. Another superhero theme because it's me and Eric. Yeah. So why not?
Yeah, sure.
We're going to be doing Pride of the X-Men, which was the precursor to X-Men the Animated Series. And we're big fans of that if you're a fan of our channel. If you haven't checked out our interview with the writers behind X-Men the Animated Series, Eric and Julia Leewald, you should definitely check that out. But we'll be sure to talk about that more during the Pride of the X-Men episode. Anything else, Eric?
Nothing. Let's just move on to plugs.
All right, what are you working on?
Same thing as always. We got 4 episodes left of Just Whelmed noted before we hit the end of Young Justice Invasion. So that's going to be wrapping up pretty soon. I got a couple other things in the pipeline as well as a name for it for stuff that I'm going to be doing Young Justice related, waiting for season 3. So keep an eye on that. I've got the perfect name for that. Just sitting on that. And
nice.
Yeah. What do you got going on? What's coming up next on the channel?
Coming up next on the channel, you're maybe wondering, you told us there was a TV three-way. How come there's no TV three-way? A little bit of a scheduling conflict, but we will definitely have that out for you, not next week, but the week after, because next week we have Ajay panel, Monday, 9 p.m., and we'll be discussing action movies. If you haven't had a chance to submit what question you would like us to ask, usually we pick 4 out of all the questions that are asked us, and then we have a discussion about it. If you haven't had a chance to submit an action question, you can do that on our channel's Twitter. And other than that, we are currently having a poll, which ends in a few days, may have ended by now, on what director we should talk about next. It's between Spielberg, Kubrick, Lucas, and J.J. Abrams, and it is Kubrick in a solid lead, so we'll probably be doing that. But right now, we're just, hanging back, still recovering from the holidays, and hopefully we'll get some more content more frequently coming up. I got a lot of Animal Crossings I still need to edit, but I'm lazy.
Yeah, editing is the thing.
It is, as always, but we've taken too much of your time already. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you around. Give us a like, or tell your friends about it. If
and you know what?
They're like, what?
And you know what? If you've gotten to this point and you didn't like anything we say, you know what? Feel free to leave it a dislike. I don't care.
Yeah, no, we welcome criticism, because that means obviously there's something more we can do for you. And you can always tell us what that is in the comments or however you'd like. But thank you again for joining us, and we will see you next time on the Downed Pilot Podcast.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye-bye. And stop.